Haters who wish they could control everyone and everything because the truth hurts them. I just want you to know that we know that you're not credible and that you're a phony who failed epically because everyone agrees with me and we say so because I know so and it's true. Happily autonomous humans who think for themselves and don't give a jeep. Hi, I just want you to know your hive mind hacking technique is impressively lame and I don't care what you think of me. Although I'm very happy to see you exist and that you're not alone in your delusions. This guy right here, you probably know him, made a meme with a minute. You probably know him, Rob, Psycho Pirate, different franchises. But the thing is, that aside, there are haters who love to control people because they want their narrative to be real. It's like clicking your heels together 3 times like, I want it to be true, I want it to be true, I want it to be true, that this person is disgusting, this person is a hater, this person is not like me, I'm not a hater. Just putting your delusions on other people to do your bidding. Meanwhile, you have people like this. I'm kind of fitting right here nowadays. I used to be sensitive in the past and stuff. And I'm like, I don't care what you think of me. I don't care if you made a video about me or if you said things about me that are hateful and you try to turn it into the truth because you are pathetic. You're trying to ruin lives. You're trying to use people to ruin me, but yet you are afraid to say the truth, that you truly hate somebody and that you need minions to attack them. You want to be the good guy and get people hurt by saying you're not the bad guy. How is that brave? Because these few right here are a few out of countless people who are targeted, weaponized, and propagandized by hate. 2 of them, actually 4, they are no longer living among us. No longer. And even though Rob and Michele Reiner, they have been they've been murdered for a different reason that had nothing to do with a hate storm and stuff compared to Mikayla Raines and Squid Kid Quadruple One. I will talk about Rob and Michele Reiner towards the end. But for now, I'm going to read this. Victim shamers. None of this would have happened had they listened, agreed with me, apologized, not said anything, not started it, nor revived old drama. Number 1, you do not use a person's mistakes or wrongdoings, their differences, your expectations, or your nitpicks as an excuse to victim shame them. Number 2, we don't bury things because they're old. We bury them because they're done, and you don't get to dictate to a victim when their situation is done. Number 3, it's also not our job to narrate victims and when or how they move on in further context. So before I get started on any of the individuals, I'm going to read this out that I put together as well. People tend to grow jealous and or spread hate based on weight, height, race, personality, history, religion, political views, culture, vocabulary, attention span, the way you sound, the way you walk, having different opinions, the way you dress, sexual orientation, how loud or quiet you are, lack of experience or education, age, your achievements and rewards, your interests, how you treat people, you having friends or no friends, the way you look or emote, you sharing the truth or a lie, you exposing them, you hurting them, not having their way, being alone, you running from a real fight. That was kind of a joke, but it can happen. It has like people like, oh, why are you running away? And they don't like that about you, and they chase after you. And I'm not going to go into all the detail, but yeah, it was a jab at Sailor Moon through the Deke version of the old show. You being soft or strong, your self-esteem, stigma, their own self-hate, craving therapeutic living punching bags, hearsay. I would say number 34 was most, if not for all of the individuals I'm going to be addressing. Hearsay, lies and propaganda, them being hated, People respond to hate with hate. That's basically what I mean by this. The amount of attention you get, the way you were born or raised, your lifestyle, you ignoring them, you not taking their side, you breaking a promise, lack of justice or due to injustice, you taking away or influencing the loss of their loved ones. You blocked them. They didn't block you first, literally. You abandoning them. Betrayal. Who traumatized them? You know, victims. Some victims have gone after people who have affected them in such a horrible way. And sometimes victims can take things out of other people. It's happened. Being bullied. Every dumb, unrealistic, or unfortunate reason they can think of. Absolutely no reason at all. So, yeah, there are so many other reasons that people spread hate beyond this list. And it's hate is analytically underrated, I would say. Meaning that people don't really pay attention to the psychology of it, like how it works, but rather more so of it just being a thing and people being hit with it and, you know, emotionally driven by it. We don't pay attention to the mechanics of hate enough, I mean. But I'm going to talk about Vic Mignogna and Monica Rial first. In regards to the videos I've done before on them, I've had different views, even though I cared about both their well-being and the well-beings of their fans. I was under the impression that Monica Rial was enabling people to go after Vic Mignogna, who she accused of sexually harassing her. I have different views now, especially considering Vic himself was not a saint, and he admitted it. However, there's been other things that happened that I'm not going to mention because the drama itself, the I Stand With Vic hashtag versus Kick Vic hashtag, hashtag Kick Vic, I said it wrong. It's a mess. It's huge, and I don't know if it's still going on, but there are things I even missed in regards to what Monica said, and I was not happy because people kept trying to distract others from seeing that she actually wanted people to be kind, no matter what they believed. These last few weeks have been some of the hardest of my lifetime. Please understand that we are all hurting. No matter what you choose to believe, please be kind. She was talking in regards to, I think, the claims towards Vic, and she wanted victims to speak. She said, believe all victims and something like that. And she also said, freedom of speech does not equal freedom from consequence. Before you choose to harass me, please be aware that I have attorneys and law enforcement involved. We are taking all threats or harassment very seriously. Any harassment or threats will be screenshot and forwarded. People were harassing Monica Rial, and people were also harassing Vic Mignogna. It was a big division among fans. Now, moving on to Vic, he said, there is way too much hate in the world today. Please spread love and understanding instead. Hate met with hate never, ever solves or improves anything. Be kind to one another always. What do Monica Rial and Vic Mignogna have in common in regards to fans? Most, not all, but most of their fans did not even listen to them. And I did not like that. This was back in 2019 when he just said, the Vic Mignogna and Monica Rial stuff happened for over 6 years, I would say. And people act like, oh, context doesn't matter. I'll just make up a narrative and say what I want to say about the situation and then act like it's true. Oh, golly, it's true. And then when they spread hate on Monica or Vic especially, they want to act like the good guys and not deny it. And people get hurt over it. And I'm like, if you're a hater who hates context, why don't you just say you hate context and that you hate the person because you're bitter? Why are you scared of admitting your hate? It's stupid. Context here. I just need one excuse. Just one excuse to judge, nitpick, project, and ignore everything you say. Context seeker. You sacrifice your reading and listening skills for stupidity. How lovely. Because they do that. So many people who went after Vic Mignogna and Montreal, and the others on the list, they avoided context for the most part. This was, I don't know if they're still active up here on what used to be Twitter, X. This is a Vic fan. They said, stop the people who ruin Vic Mignogna's career. As in, they went after voice actors against Vic and other people on the platform. This person says, are you trying to put a target on your back? This is in my video right here that I took a snip of. This is the playlist. And I get it. Many Vic fans were worried about Vic. Neither side saw everything. And they wanted to defend someone they thought was innocent. Kick Vic wanted to defend Montreal and Jamie Markey, another voice actress, because they thought Vic was a sexual harasser. And regardless of whether or not it was true, a lot of their actions were bad. And people were getting hurt over it. They're getting weaponized. Here we have someone by the name of I Stand With Vic posting their L's or losses online. And she said the kids are already in danger with Vic and Chuck visiting. And you're really using a school shooter to justify your meltdown. I don't know if I have the whole context here or not. But this person responds by saying, don't make this shot about Vic and Chuck, you sick brat. They have nothing to do with this. Here, I Stand With Vic posting their L's. She says, the kids are already in danger with... Wait, didn't I just read that? Bear with me, please. Yeah, I did. Sorry. This person says the person who made a situation of Amanda putting kids in danger about Vic. I think they were referring to Amanda Wynn Lee, a voice actress who was anti-Vic. And I have Amanda Wynn Lee in this episode, and it's something that people were taking out on her, and wrongfully so. I Stand With Vic posting their L's online said, are you seriously using school shootings to... I don't even know what you're trying to prove anymore. Now, this person right here, I Stand With Vic reports because they made an account to report every I Stand With Vic, well, any I Stand With Vic person causing harassment and stuff. Dude, this all started as a conversation about Vic and Chuck. This is all because people talked, school inviting them. They have everything to do with this, so stop whining. This was like years ago, but I Stand With Vic reports and L's and other people were accusing Vic and Chuck Huber, a fellow voice actor, of putting kids in danger. And the way it was going about was really stupid. And I Stand With Vic reports was only focused on I Stand With Vic members and not both sides doing something wrong with innocent people who are also on both sides. It was very one-sided. And here, this is I Stand With Vic member. I censored him out. And this person here, I don't know. I'm going to read this. So it would seem like she's a VA now with one role under her belt. I wonder how long she'll last with friends in Crunchyroll. Probably well. I think this is spiteful towards, this is actually Mars Girl. Someone who's also against Vic. And this person right here, he said, so who cares? If I see her, you know what I'll do. This person threatened Mars Girl. There are people threatening from both sides. I do not like that He threatened Mars Girl. Someone say like, so how's this a threat? Casey Jones right here with a weapon. This person right here said, if I see her, you know what I will do. That is a threat. Considering this GIF right here. Even though I did not agree with Mars Girl, even though I did not agree with her methods and stuff, I don't like the fact that people threaten her and try to ruin her. She didn't deserve that. Draw a line. Right here, if I remember correctly, now this is supposed to be Ron Toy. He is or was involved with Monica Rial. I think he was or is her spouse, excuse me. And someone made a fake account of him. And it had to do with the Vic situation. And right here, Monica has and I'm not going to say this out loud, at least not here, because this is really racist. And now I get the idea that it actually meant something else too. Proof that Rial is a liar, including the Kick Vic starter Mars Girl, the deformed... Okay. You see what I mean? I don't like that. But I think this had to do with COVID right here, with people calling it the CHINA virus. That racist crap right there. I did not like that. And moving along from it, because this is a fake account. Basically slander, yeah. I don't know. I Stand With Vic posting their L's online. This is definitely similar to this account right here. Except I Stand With Vic posting their L's online was a young girl from who was trying to get people's attention with this type of propaganda here too. Against Vic. Inside the mind of sexual offenders. And she's saying right here, back at it again, showcasing the worst of I Stand With Vic, as well as other idiot anime fans. Feel free to send me submissions via DM. And she was celebrating over this. 2,000 followers. And this was another account that she had. I Stand With Vic, failing to cope. Temporary Twitter home, as my other account was censored by ISWV. You know the supposed free speech people. You won't stop me, losers. I just want to say right now, I do not, and I did not hate I Stand With Vic losers, or anyone else on Kit Vic, and I did not hate people, and I do not hate people on I Stand With Vic I called out. Did I say Kit Vic, or, you know what, I don't hate either side. My mind is kind of having brain farts, but yeah. But the actions that they performed, out of the ones who were responsible, but didn't face accountability, that's on them. No one deserves to get hurt. But people need to fess up. This was some type of chat or something going on with Vic Mignogna, and someone decided to make a pseudo meme, and I think it was losers who did it. I Stand With Vic L's. And it just posted this right here, and people are in the chat talking to him. This is the real picture right here. I put kind of a meme right here I put together. This is supposed to be I Stand With Vic reports, and this is supposed to represent losers with the Danganronpa character I borrowed. And this is Vic right here saying Photoshop, because this was Photoshopped. People were using that to scare off fans of Vic. It wasn't really protecting them. Here, right here, this is the same person who went after Kick Vic people. He said, I hope to work with Vic Mignogna in the future with future projects someday. It wasn't worth it, man. To do all of that. To be a white knight and go after folks and act like you were saving the world. This right here is State Stace. It was also against Vic. And they were ripping on someone by Squallykins, who was actually linked to Vic Mignogna. Aw, Squallykins refers to Vic as sweetheart. Let's hope that doesn't imply anything. If it does, then yes, she absolutely does have problems. This is downright creepy. Really. And this is Squally right here. I censor her face. And that's Vic, of course. The things that Kick Vic members and ISWV Vic members did is really creepy. Not everyone from both sides did that, but still. This is ISWV Vic posting their L's again, or losers. She says, okay, before I even read that, this has to do with Proud Family right here. In Wokeness says, this is how you can tell that the show is total woke trash. And I'm showing this because of the racist thing right here that losers posted. Because fragile Caucasians review bombed the site. I don't like that. That is disgusting. This person right here, I think they're anti-Vic. They said, when it comes to Vic Mignogna, I don't have a horse in that race, yet I still stand with the victims of this sexual predator. Seriously, all this idiot had to do was publicly apologize and get some therapy, and this whole mess could have been avoided. Sing it with me. Come aboard and lose all your house, your hopes, and dreams. Together we can lose another case due to sexual assault. Yeah, you say you don't have a horse in that race, but you still stand. You know what? Some people have terrible context that they're using, but I'm not saying they're stupid for making that post and stuff. And whatever opinion I had before is done and done. Lilo the Stitch, who's actually another anti-Vic, says, you Vic stans have wished harm and death on people, and that is an undeniable fact. I mean, technically it is true, taking into account of what that person said in regards to Mars Girl. They wished harm on her. This person right here says, all you're doing is baiting yourself. I know which Vic stans made death threats. It gives you no right to say it is all of them, just as it doesn't give them the right to say every KVer does it. You've been doxxed multiple times at random. Ignore them, please, and protect yourself. This was probably me right here who said that. And yeah, I used a VTuber avatar. I mean, he's mid. Yeah, I said that about myself. This person said, weren't you banned for the same reason? Okay, I'm hiccuping. Yeah, technically, this person was. Right here is I stand with Vic reports again. And he's indirectly attacking someone by the name Hylian over his parents. He says, may as well bring this out from whenever Hylian tries to weaponize his parents for attacking people. And I don't really like this post because people will gaslight you even if you're talking about your family for whatever reason. And I don't want to get into this, but this is ridiculous. 0 days since Hylian mentioned his parents in a long unrelated thread. You had no right to do that, man. I stand with Vic reports. And then there's a person right here who wished death upon Vic. Death upon Vic Mignogna. Anti-Vic fan right here. Finding out my ex-favorite voice actor, Vic Mignogna, is an arpist was the worst news ever. I remember the day that news came out, bro. Whatever though, he can. Yeah, it's right here. I still with Vic. Posting their L's again, losers. Being creepy over this individual right here by saying, is that really what he looks like? Wow, he looks exactly like I thought he would, complete with stringy Chris Chan hairline. This person was involved in the Vic drama as well. This person up here on a website said, Major Domo, I've been a casual lurker of this thread over the years, especially during the lawsuit arc. But that's the thing. This has been going on now for years, and there are still subhuman mutants who refuse to just let it go. Even when the inevitable happens to Vic someday and he dies, they are still going to be talking about him. They have formed their entire identities around him and have nothing of substance to offer except the same jabbering, immature talking points with nothing to back up. Let this sink in. They have been going at this for 5 fucking years. They have completely wasted their lives and have nothing to show for it except claiming to love some cartoon from Japan that's been English dubbed by some Z-list bargain bin voice actors. Okay, moving on, because they're right. It's happened for too long. And people weren't letting it go. And people were leaving it unresolved with folks getting hurt all over the place. Now, this is somebody I used to talk to. They were giving me a heads up about what this person said in regards to Monica Rial. Actually, they were talking at her. And this is me saying, what the hell? When was this? And right here, breaking news said, "You're a fat, lying coward. You were willing to stuff your face on a podcast with Jamie Markey and lie about the case. You have no legal reasons." Monica Rial said, "I've already apologized for lashing out. I was scared. I was receiving death threats via text, threatening phone calls. I was doxxed. I think anyone in my shoes would have been on edge. I understand that you guys want the details, but I can't give them to you for legal reasons." I don't know or remember exactly when this was up here, the screenshot itself. And the person who sent it to me, they put some stuff out. They censored it. But that was harassment right there towards Monica Rial. And this is Amanda Winley that I mentioned before from what I read. And she is also someone who was, if not is, anti-Vic. But when something happened in regards to her pet tortoise, the people apparently were treating her like a monster and blaming her for leaving her tortoise. To clarify, okay, well, let me read this first. "Rest in peace, Methuselah, aka the dude. You brought me so much joy. I'm sorry I couldn't save you. I'll never forget you. I think it had to do with the fires in California. It had to do with something." And she said, to clarify, "My tortoise was hiding in his burrow 25 feet underground. We did not have time or the means to dig him out. Please stop telling me I'm a heartless murderer. I would have saved him if I could." I did not like that people were gaslight, I don't know the word. They were blaming her over the death of her tortoise, leaving the guy behind. It was terrible. I think this is it right here. But given that this happened, people have been going after voice actors nonstop and gaslighting them and just saying whatever. And it just boils down to the fact that, oh, if you have free speech, you can say whatever you want. But if you feel offended by your own words and you don't want to get out the truth, you want to protect yourself, don't tell the truth. Just go on that winning streak and stuff. Excuse me. That stuff I'm going to show at the end. But yeah. I was not happy with what happened with the Vic, Mignogna, and Monica Rial situation. And despite what happened, despite what happened with Mars Girl, I hope that she, Monica, and Vic, and everybody else are doing all right. Because I saw a clearer picture as I saw what was happening from both sides. Despite what I thought in the beginning. No matter what someone does to you or anyone, no matter their mistakes, no matter if you like them or you're not a fan of them, please don't use it as an excuse to let hate destroy them and those around them. Now, I think I'm going to talk about Squid Kid Quadruple One, the cosplayer who was said to have, excuse me, it's getting to me. The cosplayer who was said to have been driven to suicide by racist hate and harassment. Now, this right here says Squid Kid Quadruple One dies at 19 as fans cite racist abuse. The fans were citing it. The 19-year-old cosplayer's death has reignited conversations about racism and harassment faced by black creators and fan communities. Ashley, known across social media platforms as Ash or Squid Kid Quadruple One, died in November 2025 at 19 years old, leaving behind a cosplay community grappling with grief and searching for answers. For 7 years, Ash built a devoted following through elaborate anime and Japanese-inspired character recreations that showed both technical skill and infectious enthusiasm for the craft. The announcement arrived on Instagram on November 13th when someone with access to Ash's account informed followers that the young creator who used they and them pronouns had passed away. Yes, that's their pronouns. The message celebrated Ash's dedication to cosplay and the connections they forged through the hobby, describing how their influence extended beyond digital spaces into conventions, campus interactions, and professional photo shoots throughout their creative journey. No official cause of death was disclosed in the announcement, yet the silence, this is important, yet the silence surrounding those details has only amplified speculation and anguish within fan communities that watched Ash grow from a preteen enthusiast into an accomplished creator whose work brought joy to thousands of followers. I say this is important because if it has not been proven exactly how they passed away, people should consider that, even though you have your speculations, and I don't blame you for it, because they were harassed, right? At least they said it was cited. Allegations of relentless harassment, right here, speaking of which. In the days following the announcement, the anime-focused social media page, A Dose of Anime, shared images of Ash in costume alongside claims that the creator faced persistent racist harassment. According to the post, community members suspected Ash died by suicide after enduring continuous attacks targeting their appearance and choice of characters to portray. The harassment allegedly centered on Ash's decision to cosplay light-skinned or non-black characters, including Ellen Jo from the game Zenless Zone Zero. Critics reportedly bombarded Ash with comments about their skin tone, questioning their right to embody characters who did not share their racial identity. The page suggested these attacks exacerbated existing struggles with depression, contributing to a tragic outcome that might have been prevented. While specific details about the harassment remain unverified, the allegations, right here, there's also key point right here. The allegations align with documented patterns of abuse that black cosplayers have reported for years. The practice of cosplaying while black has become fraught with criticism from multiple directions, as creators face accusations of either appropriating characters or failing to represent their own racial identity adequately, creating an impossible standard that white cosplayers rarely encounter. The unequal terrain of fandom. Cosplay emerged as a celebration of creativity and passion for fictional universes, offering participants the freedom to embody any character regardless of personal characteristics. In theory, the hobby exists as a judgment-free space where imagination supersedes appearance. Reality has proven far more complicated, particularly for creators from marginalized communities who navigate constant scrutiny about their choices. Black cosplayers have long documented hostile responses when they portray characters not explicitly coded as black in source material. The criticism ranges from subtle dismissal to overt racial slurs. often delivered through anonymous social media accounts that face no consequences for their attacks. This dynamic creates an exhausting environment where Black creators must defend their right to participate in communities that claim to welcome all fans. The situation becomes even more perverse when Black cosplayers face backlash for portraying Black characters as well, with critics accusing them of limiting themselves or playing it safe. This catch-22 reveals the underlying racism that treats Black participation in fandom as inherently problematic, regardless of the choices individual creators make about which characters to embody. Questions without answers for Squid Kid, Quadruple One. Ash's death has forced uncomfortable conversations about accountability in online spaces. The cosplay community prides itself on acceptance and creativity. Yet these values ring hollow when members of that community drive talented young creators away through systematic harassment. Fandom spaces have become increasingly toxic despite stated commitments to inclusivity, with moderation policies that often fail to protect the most vulnerable participants. The tragedy also highlights gaps in mental health support for young people navigating online harassment. At 19, Ash belonged to a generation that grew up with social media as an inescapable presence, unable to fully separate their creative identity from the platforms where abuse flourished. The tools meant to connect creators with appreciative audiences also exposed them to relentless criticism from strangers, emboldened by anonymity. For Ash's followers and fellow cosplayers, the loss represents both a personal grief and a broader reckoning. The community now confronts whether it can transform its culture to prevent future tragedies, or whether the structural problems that enable this harassment will continue claiming young lives who dare to pursue their passion in an unforgiving space. Rest in peace, Squid Kid, Quadruple One, aka Ash. I am really fucking angry and upset. People, I'm going to tell you, I can relate to folks who question the choices behind portrayal, at least in regards to actors. But cosplayers are pursuing dreams and stuff. Even voice actors tend to be fans of characters they portray, whether they portray them well or not. But I have not spread hate towards people or even actors over portraying a character that they, in my opinion, didn't look like. I will make an example. If anyone has seen Dragon Ball Evolution, Son Goku, he was portrayed by Justin Chatwin. To me, Justin Chatwin did not look like Goku. And it wasn't just for one reason, it was multiple reasons. And many people were saying similar things. But there were people who actually enjoyed the movie. And they probably enjoyed Justin Chatwin being Goku. Justin Chatwin, to me, he's not of Asian descent. I think he's European descent. And Goku, he's Asian in appearance. Even though people were saying he and Superman, they don't have ethnic backgrounds because they're aliens. In Son Goku's case, he's based on the Monkey King, whose Japanese name is Son Goku. We know him as Sun Wukong. So, with Goku having Asian features and Superman commonly having European-like features and stuff, there is like a prominent appearance that they have. But that doesn't mean a person of a different background should be forbidden to portray Son Goku or Superman, at least as cosplayers especially. But if you're trying to be authentic with movies, it's like, yeah, you know, the whole thing with representation going on, it's a mix. I have mixed feelings about things. It's like, okay, is there a double standard going on? How is it supposed to be? Like, who's supposed to do what? Because you have different people protesting and trying to control the lives of other folks all because they don't like them. Like we're the Sims or something. So even though I felt that Justin Chatwin didn't seem to fit with Son Goku, I actually think he might have loved Goku or Dragon Ball a lot as a fan himself. If he was a fan of him, it's like, yeah, I could sympathize with that. So hopefully he didn't have to face hate and hateful messages and stuff, because really Squid Kid did not deserve to hate either. And there are a bunch of cosplayers of different ethnic backgrounds, different nationalities, who cosplay the characters that they grew up with, especially, and people are selective of who doesn't and who doesn't. It's stupid. And even then, with the Dragon Ball Evolution, there was one guy way back in the day who said he liked or loved the film for what it was, and people were attacking him in the comment section and stuff. I defended that guy because he was being human. He was being honest. And there's nothing wrong with someone liking something that I don't have taste in. There's nothing wrong. It's like, if you don't like chocolate cake, it doesn't need to be banned. There are other people that like chocolate cake. It's like this. Oh, this movie is my weakness. Dragon Ball Evolution is my weakness. But it's another person's strength. So, yeah. That said, haters, if you find yourself cosplaying a character that does not even resemble you, please be aware that if you are one of these type of folks that did it to Squid Kid, that drove them off, you are a colossal hypocrite, a deranged, domino effective dipstick who needs help. Again, Squid Kid, rest in peace. I'm gonna go back here, see who's up next. Imane Khelif. Now, I know this is was back in August 2024, but I'm gonna read this. I might try to read all of it. I'll see what I can do. Inside the tough childhood of Olympic boxer Imane Khelif, as she faces groundless accusations of being male, Imane Khelif was told she had the right physical qualities to be a boxer. Diana McGinnis, August 9, 2024. I think I can read this. Now, okay, I don't know if I can close that. I don't want to mess up anything. It's whatever. The tough childhood of embattled Olympic boxer Imane Khelif has come to light after her 46-second victory sparked an international gender row amid a frenzy of misinformation. Khelif of Algeria, I am sorry if I mispronounced it, overcame severe odds to compete at her second Olympic Games, despite having been forced to sell bread on the streets as a child in order to pursue her boxing dream in a conservative environment that insisted the sport was only for men. I happened to sell bread in the street. I collected dishes and other objects to earn money and to be able to move around because I came from a very poor family, she previously revealed as she opened up about the obstacles she was forced to overcome in life. Having been born a woman and lived her entire life as one, Khelif was catapulted to the center of a rabid debate over trans women in sport because her opponent, Angela Carini of Italy, refused to fight on after receiving what she described as the hardest punch of her life. This is a picture of Imane as a young girl with her family. The boxer picture described her childhood as difficult. Now, moving on. While several high-profile figures jumped to accuse Khelif of being a trans woman who was unfairly competing against women, it was quickly clarified that Khelif, who has suffered 9 losses in her international career, was a woman, but one who had previously failed a gender test due to a medical condition, similar to the controversy South African athlete Caster Semenya faced throughout her career. The athlete, 25, previously told how she rose to compete at the highest level after being told boxing was only for men. She explained that while she had a difficult childhood, a teacher recognized that she had the right physical qualities to be good at boxing. I have always loved football, and I played in my little village. She remembered in a resurfaced interview. My father always preferred football to boxing, but I was very good at sports in my school, and my teacher encouraged me to become a boxer since I had good physical qualities, and he was right. As her again, I think with one of her siblings. Khelif was banned from 2023 World Championships after failing to meet their gender eligibility criteria. Growing up in a conservative area in Algeria, where it is illegal to transition gender and to be gay, Khelif explained that the people around her thought boxing was a sport only suitable for men. Let that sink in. I come from a conservative region and family. Boxing was a sport dedicated only to men, she said of her difficult start. Now, she wanted to box. She's a woman, and boxing was only for men right here. And then when she got that opportunity, people are like, oh, you are male in disguise, or oh, you're a transgender woman, and just like, why the reversal? Because Imane Khelif is a woman. Transgender women and transgender men, they do deserve respect. Even though biologically they are of a different sex, we should respect them for the gender identity that they feel close to. Because a lot of them, they suffer from gender dysphoria. But Imane Khelif is not trans. She's a cisgender woman. But yeah, Khelif, who spoke movingly about coming from an impoverished background, said that even training as a boxer was challenging and she had to raise the money she needed to pay for training herself. These are obstacles that I encountered when I started, she said. I happened to sell bread in the street. I collected dishes and the other objects to earn money and to be able to move around because I came from a very poor family. Some money again. She was told she had the right physical qualities to be a great boxer. But her perseverance paid off, and she eventually moved to the Algerian capital before making a life for herself abroad as she pursued her sporting dreams. However, Khelif has faced new challenges over the past year because of what has been described as a medical condition. This saw her in Taiwan's Lin Yuting disqualified from last year's World Championships at the 11th hour because they did not meet gender eligibility criteria. Reacting to her previous ban, Khelif said, "The year 2023 was very difficult for me after a great year. It was a hard blow for me, but I came back stronger to show my strength and my determination and show the whole world what a brave woman Imane Khelif is." Karini, who forfeited her Olympic dreams when faced with Khelif, said that she was left fearing for her life. Khelif was told that she had the right physical qualities to compete in the sport only for men. I couldn't carry on, she later told reporters. I think that's Angela. I have a big pain in my nose, and I said, stop. It's better to avoid keeping going. My nose started dripping from the first hit. It could be the match of my life, but in that moment, I had to safeguard my life too. I felt to do this, I didn't have any fear. I don't have any fear of the ring or to get hit. I fought very often in the national team. I trained with my brother. I've always fought against men, but I felt too much pain today. Despite the controversy, the International Olympic Committee has offended its decision to allow the women disqualified from the World Championships to compete. What I would say is that this involves real people, and we are talking about real people's lives here. Spokesperson Mark Adams said on Thursday, Angela Carini abandons her bout against Imane Khelif. They have competed and they continue to compete in the women's competition. They have lost and they have won against other women over the years. While little is known about Khelif's medical history, the International Boxing Association's, or IBA, president had previously claimed a test had shown she had XY chromosomes, male, and therefore did not meet their eligibility criteria. But the presence of these chromosomes would not mean that Khelif is transgender. It has been speculated that she has differences in sex development, DSD, the collective name for a series of rare conditions that causes a person to develop differently from what would be typically expected of their assigned sex. Now, regardless, Imane Khelif is a woman, and she suffered from a medical condition. People suffer from different conditions. And even if she, quote unquote, doesn't look like a woman to people, she looks like a female to me. She does. Even if she doesn't happen to have the shape that people expect out of her, you have seen strong women and strong men, humans of different kinds, men and women of different kinds. They don't even have to be ripped to be treated human. Everybody is a human being. But you can also be portrayed as a monster if you're a really horrible person. And that's not Imane. She's not a monster. People treated her like she was a monster over what happened between her and Angela Carini. But yeah, it really sucks when you have to deal with certain conditions and people build upon the stigma so that there's a hate storm coming after you because they're like, I don't like this in that person. I want this to be erased. I want that person to be put somewhere. And it's not up to you. People have lives. People have dreams. And I know you haters out there, you have dreams. But when someone starts hating on you and they victimize you, you start crying. It's really hypocritical. I wish you well, Imane Khelif, if you do happen to see this video or hear of it, because you didn't deserve the hate either. You did not. Moving on to Mikayla Raines. YouTube star Mikayla Raines dies by suicide at 29. Husband blames online abuse. Raines created a successful YouTube channel dedicated to her advocacy efforts rescuing foxes from fur farms. All right, 2025. This is back in June. Animal rescue activist and YouTube star Mikayla Raines has died by suicide, according to her husband. She was 29. Ethan Raines announced her death in an emotional video on her YouTube channel Monday. He said that for years his wife suffered from various mental health issues and struggled to cope with online criticism. She couldn't bear what she was feeling any longer, and she ended her life, he said. And it breaks my heart that someone who is selfless and devoted her life to animals could have so much negativity pointed at her. And to those of you that pushed her to this, every one of you that had been responsible for making her feel this way, I wish you had to feel what she felt, he added. I wish you had to feel what I feel. Mikayla Raines created a nonprofit animal rescue organization, Save a Fox Rescue, in 2017. When she was 20 years old, the organization, which is based in Lakeville, Minnesota, is dedicated to rescuing foxes from fur farms and providing them with forever homes. It has saved more than 150 foxes, according to its website. Since then, she built a large following on social media dedicated to her advocacy efforts, accruing more than 2.4 million followers on YouTube and hundreds of thousands on other social media sites. Ethan Raines said he performed CPR on his wife for 15 minutes before paramedics arrived. He encouraged people who are feeling lost and hopeless to reach out to friends, family members, or crisis hotlines, and for those with loved ones who are struggling to do something or say something before it's too late. Despite this being the biggest loss of my life and feeling like I have a literal hole in my chest, he said, I would not let Mikayla's light be extinguished, and I won't let negativity win. I won't let her mission fall apart. He said he intends to continue his wife's work and ask for privacy in the near future. As long as you guys will continue to support all of us here at Save a Fox, we will keep pushing for it, he said. I'm confident we can bring more light to this world, and we'll be doing it for Mikayla. Mikayla Raines also leaves behind a young daughter who was featured regularly on her social media accounts, Freya. Now, if anyone wants, I encourage you to research this stuff if you haven't. And if you could make a difference, inspire somebody, please do that. Because what Squid Kid went through, even though we supposedly don't know all what happened, they did not deserve the hate. Imane didn't deserve it, even though she's still living. And I'm happy for her. Mikayla, like Squid Kid, is gone. Because haters want to dictate everybody else's life when we share one single reality that we can overcome together. Now, going back, I think I'm going to be talking about Sonic93 and probably Akai Jane as well, because I was formerly friends. I'm formerly friends with Sonic93, and she was met with so much hate even before I knew of her. This is our Discord conversation right here. And one of the things I was afraid of in regards to her was her committing suicide, because in a voice chat, she mentioned to me, when we were still friends, that she was tempted to jump off the balcony, and her parents talked her out of it. She's not the only person who was in a suicidal phase, even though I think she denied that she was thinking of suicide, but it would have led to it regardless. I have a friend named, well, he's resting in peace. His name is Andrew. And when he passed away, I thought of him when it came to what was going on with Sonic93, with the hate getting to her, especially. Because Andrew, he was suicidal. But I don't remember if he actually had to deal with hate. I'm going to actually read this right here, because I'm going to also show some videos. Yeah. So this had to do with, right here, where she was saying, I have to really disagree on that. People have shown they wouldn't care if someone would commit suicide because of the hate a person has gained from it. So right here, I'm saying, bottom line, people really don't know what's going on until they actually look for context. But since many of your haters don't, they could very well cause someone serious pain even just by weaponizing them to the point of trapping themselves in so much trouble. It would be on your haters. People like that have ruined their own lives, especially after accidentally ruining those they weren't targeting but pulled in. I have to really disagree on that, people have shown they wouldn't care if someone would commit suicide, she says, because of the hate a person has gained from it. That's the issue. People don't treat others as humans. They treat each other as a trademark or entertaining target to join the bandwagon and spread more hate. This is in reference to the hate that she was dealing with, especially. This is basically us being good friends. And I said something like, I am proud of you, Ruth. Because a lot of people, they would bring out her name saying Ruth, like they know her personally and stuff when they were making attack videos on her. And I did not like that. She did not like that. But her name is actually Ruth without the H, but internationally she's called Ruth. Just to clarify. And if it weren't for Sonic93, I would not have known about Goth Nebula. Goth Nebula is a similar victim of harassment and threats. Right here, I will come back and read this, but this person basically told Goth Nebula to go jump off a cliff and die. Right here, I think it's right here. I do want to talk about someone who threatened Sonic93. This person right here, BagODouche. This is a timestamps. Timestamp of 2/40/14. I'm gonna go to that right now. Bag threatened to have others and themselves kill her if she comes back. 2/40/14. If I can get there. I'm gonna have to start right here.
Don't worry, Ruth. When people discover your new location and it's confirmed it's you, this shit show will come right back where you left it off. Who knows? Maybe she'll come back with a hit list to take care of us. Well, good luck with that shit, retard. The others and I will be waiting to put you back in your self-made grave.
And that too. I will talk about this. BagODouche was basically acting like a hero of all sorts in this comedy-driven shit show, which wasn't even funny to begin with, as an excuse to make death threats. Dumbsville, who you saw in that picture that BagODouche made, was somebody who actually supported the video with the threat against Sonic93. Dumbsville said, no problem, man. At this point, I've come to the point where I've accepted that not all your heroes are heroes. LOL. It's part of growing up, in my opinion. And I'm kind of glad I learned the way I did. Oh yeah, I just learned that not all your heroes are heroes. Like, that type of acting, I despise it. You're being fake. Even though BagODouche hearted your comment, I don't see their comment there anymore. I don't think I even saw it there to begin with. It's like either it was deleted or YouTube did something to it. But BagODouche, you condone hate towards Sonic93. And you condone threats. If you saw the video, you condoned it. You had to have seen it. And if you didn't see it because you didn't want to see it, you're still guilty. Because you were blindsiding. And you were approving at the same time. Now, I lost my train of thought. BagODouche also made this of Sonic93, of her self-insert, as part of a fanfic. BagODouche used her real name, saying, oh my goodness, all for you, V2. Ruth flailed and screeched in the air after her public stunt in the park. The crowd below had mixed emotions. Some laughed, some cried, some mad, some walking by without knowing what had happened or what led to the event. Any passerby that tried to help would scream to go away. She had never listened to anyone, not even her closest friends and followers. People saw her true colors that day, and she would never recover. She was a lost cause. I don't like you calling her a lost cause. And since you did, you must feel really darn good about it, and scared at the same time, hiding somewhere, BagODouche. Regardless, they eventually left the scene as night fell. All that remained was the lunatic. Her thoughts, you called her a lunatic, groovy. And the moon. Her thoughts raced around in her thick skull. I did this all for you, she said to her mind as she began to take off her clothes, beginning to commence the final part of her tribute to her true love. I did all you asked me to. Goosebumps ran across her body as her pants dropped to the grass below, save for her heavily damaged oh my goodness. She was almost naked. Jeez. Yeah, I know what it says. I'm just really disgusted. Her fingers closing in on her itch. What? She has been waiting to... Okay, what? Nobody will keep us apart. I know I read this before, but still, she cried. You are my only true passion. Ruth had done it. She had finally achieved what she wanted all along. She even listened to a piece of advice she was given before she got to this point. Go... Oh, jeez. What the fuck did I just type? I'm really pushing it here. Oh, well. You know what you type on, you wannabe Macaulay Culkin faker who gives Macaulay Culkin a bad name, especially with your Home Alone look. I'm going to go point it out because you actually... Yeah, you did something else too, man. I am just so disgusted. Really? Really? You dragged in Akai by name.
Wasn't my intention as I did.
Yeah, you literally also went after Akai, I guess. If I remember correctly, but I am just really tired of it. This is what I'm looking for. BagODouche did this. BagODouche, you must have loved Sonic93 so much, and you wanted an escape. You wanted to stop loving her, man. And then you made this shit so you can entertain people as your quote-unquote cry for help when you literally threatened her. You literally did. Right here. Oh, wait, that's not it. Give me a moment, please. Because I know where I'm going to go. Right when, jeez, I am just so disgusted. And yes, I will freaking live. Right here. Having Dumbsville blow off her head. What the hell? And you did something else too. And my thing is, I'm going to talk about the Wikitubia soon. Not yet. But BagODouche is somebody who sexually harassed Sonic93 with these things. And oh, groovy. They, I think they go by they, but I don't really know. I'm just really disgusted by. I think the there's one picture that I'm looking for that BagODouche made, and I probably can't find it. But I'm gonna timestamp it. BagODouche actually 141.22. 141.22. I might have to be careful with it because it just... Okay. I'm going to play it.
Awful attitude. And she's supposed to be sick.
You threatened her so many damn times. You made your damn point. You made your damn point that she's quote-unquote crazy. You made your damn point that she needs to be talked about. You made your damn point. BagODouche, you made...
Awful attitude. And she's
Yeah, I don't know. If anybody could actually watch that part, because really, I just give me a moment, please. Because when I came back to this video, I have high anxiety because of the amount of stupidity behind people ignoring what's in BagODouche's video. Now, this is what it all says right here. I'm scrolling down here because these are all the whatchamacallits. 226. Now, 226, editing right now. Now I'm going to leave it playing as I talk. To anybody who supports death threats, you are literally inhuman. There's something wrong with you. You need help. There it was. There it freaking was. And if it was to happen to you, I would be at the angry. I mean, I would be at the angry. Wow. I can't talk. I would be angry at the person who threatened you. But it doesn't give you a freebie to do this to anyone. BagODouche, you are heartless. You're scared. You are disgusting. You're a wannabe macho person. And this drawing you did right here of Sonic93 with Silver, telling her to kill herself, did it make you feel good? All because you had like over 800 likes and stuff? Does it make you feel good that I barely have anybody supporting my videos and stuff because y'all gatekept the drama and the lies against her? And BagODouche, if I fucking met you, you would not even be close to my bravery. You wouldn't. I would be laughing in your face. Because people like you, you're heartless simps. BagODouche basically did what haters have done to Monica Rial, I already said Sonic93, to Squid Kid, to Imane Khelif, to Mikayla Raines, to others. And I have somebody that I compare to BagODouche and others that went out to Sonic93. I'm not going to do it right now. But this person... No, oh, that's not it right here. I'm kind of staggering. These people. I'm going to talk about ISWV right after Sonic93. But I'm going to try and catch my breath. Princess Anastasia 434 is somebody who actually threatened Sonic93 and said things that are offensive, possibly as like a irrelevant jab to her religion. Sonic93 is Muslim, even though I don't think saying that she's an ISIS member is related to that. But then the whole thing when Princess Anastasia's narrating her as saying, she's narrating Sonic93 as saying, I'm a hypocrite who has no life. I'm 27 and Silver's 14. That makes me a danger to others. I toss out people who are no longer useful to me. Why am I like this? Because when I was a baby, an ISIS member took me from my family, and all these years I was arced. I'm also an ISIS member. That's right. I hate everything ISIS. Well, I don't like it when people are using this RAPED thing like a joke. It's not a freaking joke. All you haters suck. I hate people such as Draco, Ashley, Amychan, Minnie, G-Spartan, My Loyal Slave, Sprite, Boxer Fox, Alderman Gajinki. This is what I don't like. People who went after Sonic93 have kept bringing up names like they were summoning Final Fantasy spirits. To like, oh, I'm dedicating this to you when I say your name, that Sonic93 is ugly, she's crazy, she's all these type of things. You're pathetic. Here we go. Right here. Dumbsville, just a robot. Why are you making so much of a fake-ass tribute to these people? Stay in your lane. I know this is April 15, 2020, but the fact remains, you threatened her. And we're going to point it out. I'm going to point it out. Who's we? But geez. I'm so mad right now. I'm going to toss out another slave who is not useful, find a new one, and make more videos on... Okay, really? Oh my goodness. I'm not going to read that. But here we go. This is when she threatened Sonic93 by pretending to be an anime character. It's me, Revy, from the fucking anime Black Lagoon, an anime full of badass women, and a dub that beats the sub. I heard of what you are... Did you really have to say beats the sub? You don't like the sub or something? I heard of what you are doing from Ashley Starr, and I'm so sick of what you are doing. You are one of the worst people I have ever seen, so I'm going to... You said you're going to kill her. Any last words? You think you could beat me? I will die, Okay. Owned. That is a threat. Now that she's dead, she won't make any more harm. If there are any more bad people on the internet, leave them to me, Revy. I'm off to kill more bad people. See you later. This is a heartless, disgusting, psychotic post. And you said, do not witch hunt this person, Sonic93. Hello, you say this stuff right here. I'm Sonic93, aka Ruth. I'm so super gay. You have no respect for gays, apparently. And then someone called her out in the comment section. I'm going to go to it right now. Dinosaur said, have some compassion and stop using slurs. Imagine meeting the love of your life and having a flourishing career, and then this gets drudged up and thrown back at you. Imagine the people you care about and look up to, seeing your screen and reading your post right now. How would they react? Sonic93 and her friends deserve better, and so do you. Please do only yourself a solid and take your post down ASAP. You can feel however you want about anyone, but this world is changing and so will you. The vitriol you spew today will come back to haunt you. Please take care of yourself and don't beat yourself up when you do come around. A sincere apology to everyone, especially Sonic93, would be immensely appreciated, but no pressure. Thank you for taking the time to read this. As a follow-up, they add, I know it's been a while since you posted this. I sincerely hope you become a better person by the time you read this. I acknowledge that Sonic93 was not blameless in her conduct. Still, this does not make it okay. Key point. I acknowledge that Sonic93 was not blameless, but still it doesn't make it okay. See? No matter what you think, you do not sit there and turn a blind eye and let people threaten somebody. Princess responded by saying, stop getting so butthurt, you Sonic93 lover. An eye for an eye. Remember that you're, oh my goodness, you're a PC. If you don't agree, grow a spine, you girly man. I bet you love My Little Pony. I'm not taking it down. Dinosaur made a great comeback by saying, my spine is ready, honey. So regardless, Princess Anastasia is one of plenty of people who threaten Sonic93. Oh my god, and you called Dinosaur a fidget. Sapphire ZX said funny, and I don't even know exactly what they mean by fun. Oh my goodness. I don't know, hit it or delete it, it's whatever. Moving on. Watermelon the Cat. The reason why I'm showing this person is because they also said something that was offensive towards Sonic93's religion. And Watermelon's like, when will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences? Sammy, classic Sonic fan. And I'm really disgusted. Don't harass anyone I'll mention in this rant. It makes you an even worse person than you think. It doesn't make you a worse person for posting this shit. Sonic93, the person I genuinely thought was a decent rant until now. Now I get what's inside the mind, not of a girl, but a grown-ass woman. Moving along. Who is Sonic93? Sonic93, or Ruth, is a 26 you don't have to use her real name, is a 26-year-old ranter, yes, I'm not joking, who got recognition off her Akai Dahlia rants and more, but now she's in a steaming hot pile of shit. What did she do? From what I've heard and listened to, she's going after someone called Alduin just because they don't like Silver and point out some of his flaws and it's not true. I will put a link, or rather you can check out my playlist. Sonic93 did not get upset over people pointing out Silver's flaws. She herself said in one or more videos that I've made recording what she said, that Silver has flaws. You know, Silver's not perfect. Jeez. And is devaluing fangirls and making them look bad, which a good proportion of them and genuinely okay people. Oh, jeez. Why do you hate her? Oh, so you admit that you hate her. Here are reasons why I absolutely despise her. She basically broke a friendship between her and Dumbsville. That has nothing to do with you. You don't know what Dumbsville did to her. And even if you got like a glimpse of it, then you're an enabler. Her voice is just as bad as nails on a chalkboard or a violin without any rose. That is a stupid reason to hate somebody. She is going after a 15-year-old, and yes, she's fucking 20. She didn't go after her. If you're talking about Melody Sugarplum, she did not go after her. She yells in the mic, not in a funny way, like, sir, I don't even know where you're going. But the thing is, in regards to this Melody Sugarplum person, I have a video on Melody that I made, if not another. She did basically raise her voice at her, but Sonic93 did not know that Melody Sugarplum was apparently underage, like 15 or something. But the thing is, I'm not going to go into the whole thing. People blew it all out of proportion. And Melody was actually bashing Silver the Hedgehog for having flaws. And basically trying to boycott or rather get Sega to change up the character. But yeah, seriously, again, I will put it in the link. Conclusion, Ruth is basically one of those Sans fangirl trolls that are like, Sans is mine, but instead with Silver, she is extremely annoyingly obsessive, and it makes me picture her stalking the voice actor of Silver, taking pictures of him naked or something. I feel bad for her own religion. She's Muslim. I mean, this has nothing to do with Sonic93's religion. Like, imagine if you had to go to the temple and see a grown-ass woman taught like that and downright embarrassing herself. She is one of those women that deserve to be slapped so hard that they'll fracture their goddamn neck. That is a fucking threat right there. I'm sick and tired of it. I know this is older, but it still matters. See what else is here. I am really disappointed in people who let me see. When it comes to these comments that I see right here, look, I could care less if she ships herself with Silver and Raphael. Hell, I have a lot of fictional crushes myself, but she didn't need to scream at the top of her lungs just because she thought that someone was being quote-unquote unfair with her criticism towards Silver. Seriously, girl, chill. Now, I'm not saying this comment is bad, but to blindsight a threat and other things that was said about Sonic93, it's completely stupid. I don't like that. Oh my goodness. Oh my freaking goodness. Anyone want to pause it and read it, it's up to you. But people, it is not okay to bring up someone's religion all because, oh, they like a certain character, all because, oh, they happen to scream at someone or yell at someone defensively, if that's the case. And in the case, she was upset with a Silver fan for saying they're a Silver fan and then saying horrible things about the character, like, oh, you're supposed to be perfect and stuff. when you're a Silver fan, like you say, basically you say you hate the character's personality, or their personality needs to change. Like, that's not a fan. That's what was going on through Sonic93's mind. Like, how can you call yourself a fan of a character if you are going to say that Silver's spikes look like weed and stuff, and then you're trying to boycott Silver? That's what was going on throughout that mess. Granted, I'm going to move on to something else before I wrap up. I know people were saying that Akai Jane was broken by Sonic93 and that Yoshi 1 was broken by Sonic93. It's not true. Right here, this person, Jim, they were attacking Moondisc in the comment section. Now, if I can get to it. Apparently not. Yeah, apparently not. Let me just fucking do this. But a lot of people were getting involved and saying horrible things about one person. One person. And for what? If I'm gonna scroll down, come on past me. Scroll down. Scroll down. Come on. Now, Moondisc said, I don't know why I did it like that. This person says, so I watched this video 3 times now and I will illuminate on some statements that were entirely not true. This is a post that was made on a different YouTuber's whatchamacallit that quote unquote called out Sonic93. And first is the fallout of Amychan and Ruth. Amy claims that it wasn't a big deal, that she and Ruth was joking around. When Ruth wanted to respond to Melody's journal about Silver, Amy said to Ruth that it's not a big deal. Ruth says that Amy and her were not joking around. Ruth was genuinely upset with the points Melody made. Amy never said that. It wasn't a big deal, and don't be upset about it. She never said anything of the sort. Amy agreed with everything what Ruth said. Amy was saying a false narrative. This is just one of the reasons why Ruth cut ties with Amychan. There is more, but the rest is personal info. The video of Dumbsville interviewing with Amychan is no longer available for the public to watch due to Amychan releasing private information about Ruth that should not have been said. There we go. I'm going to talk about this. Second, Alduin video on Sonic93 was not good on giving critique on the matter. It just made things worse. Alduin was harassing Ruth to make her watch her video on her before and after the event. This is why Ruth didn't bother on watching Alduin's video to begin with. Edit. Ruth was convinced by Amychan to remove the original video because Amy said Melody felt uncomfortable. Jar was inconsequential of any matter in the event. Dumbsville made the situation more complex than it had to be. Nani tried to help but wasn't enough. Plus, after the interview with Ruth, she wasn't helped to Ruth anymore. She is not controlling. She never did that to anyone. She is not manipulative. People called her that, and it's not true. And she is not abusive. The one who made that claim was Malteserman. He made a video called Sonic93 is an abusive woman. I proved to him in Super Sprite 65 that what he made in the video was not substantial for the claims. Later on, the video is now deleted. Ruth deleted her channel because she was done with the drama. In fact, this was before she did. She had her closure of what she wanted, and so it was done. Third, she didn't use her friends as tools. I know that statement is false. Whoever told you that is a lie. I did interviews with Draco, Many to Many, and Super Sprite, and they know that they volunteer to help her in the mini rant series. I'll give you the titles of the video I made with all of them. No, my opinions have changed over time on some information. It's for your eyes. Note, both fundamentals of conversation and fundamentals of consultation are the last appearance of Sonic93. Hopefully this would clear up some false narratives, and I suggest on watching it. It is substantial, and going down we have Mullen or GRN65. I do hope maybe there will be a retrospective on this drama, maybe like the style Cecil McFly does, because I did notice some things off. Granted, Ruth's responses and methods weren't good in her comeback, but there were a lot of few emotions and flawed arguments in the Sonic93 drama. It kind of felt they were not a whole lot of people with clear and rational arguments, except for Wild Paws, Manga Common, Icy's old video, and I think Nico's is 2 hours long, so I gotta re-examine it to see if that video holds up. I do understand this drama was a headache, but witnessing it back then felt like a massive shouting match between everyone back then. Jim says, okay, before I even get there, I'm gonna talk about Jim. Jim is actually this person right here who said to Akai Jane, aka Cobalt Sky 39, I say you dodged a bullet, Jane. But then when we go back to the comment section under the other YouTubers page, I don't know why it's taking a long time. I know it's me. Come on, man. No. I want to actually point out something first with Moondisc. Moondisc is actually someone who worked behind the scenes with Sonic93. We both actually had problems with him, and she was afraid of admitting it to him, even though sometimes she did call him out. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail with that. But yeah. The whole thing with Amychan releasing private information about Ruth, that's not said. Yeah, this is what I want to do before I talk about Jim. Where is it? This part right here. Dumbsville, Amychan, and Zonfly Spartan were talking about private things about Sonic93. And Dumbsville was profiteering off of Sonic93, attracting people to donate to him. And that's what I wanted to point out. So I'm gonna try to go back. I do forget okay. So going down to Jim. Jim is one of these type of accounts. Fake. And right here, Jim said, I would normally be a jackwad, say too long, didn't read, but unfortunately, I did read your text while psychobabbling, even lost brain cells in the process, and it sounds like you are huffing copium while typing this. You claim it's a lie, that she clearly used her friends as tools, despite the clear evidence of this in public and from the actual victims' testimonies, and yet you are lying about how Ruth is this perfect little angel, all while your entire interview on Ruth is her claiming she did nothing wrong, while she is known for attacking, stalking, and encouraging harassment towards her targets, tearing them down as people and insulting them, their art and characters, some of which were kids, and others she chased off the internet entirely or both. Well, I'm not buying it. And I feel sorry for Malina, GRN, and their one brain cell that they fell for your BS. Why are you insulting Malina when Malina themselves was being neutral? Did you just completely forget the person you're defending here is a doxer? There is no proof that she doxed someone. She really didn't dox someone. There's an interview on that. And a bully, or do you just not care? Again, there is evidence of her trash behavior, and you are just ignoring it whenever it is right in your face. But while I'm at it, I'm going to throw the same argument back at you. Stop lying. No one believes you. Well, no one's sane at least. You white knights are always the same. If you cannot be honest, then just leave. What is stopping you idiots from calling the police on Sonic93? Or what was, rather? You blindsided what BagODouche, what Dumbsville, what others have said and done to Sonic93. You're selective. Yet, this is 5 months ago from when I made the video. And when you posted under Akai's message, it was 10 months ago. You didn't even mention that you were concerned about Akai Jane talking to Sonic93, yet people were saying, oh, she was broken by her. The big contradiction right there. It's stupid. But I want to talk about Yosuri 1 because he was someone else that was linked to the Sonic93 drama. I'm not going to go into so much detail, but Yosuri 1 was also a victim of harassment. Right here, this picture, it reminds me of something else. And I'm going to try to find it. You know what? I think it's in the same video. Yeah, it is. Don't be Sonic93. And right here, this image. Silver is mine. I'm better. Rage. Hate blaze. Akai and Yosui 1 suck. No rules for me. This person, whoever made this drawing, they weaponized Yosui 1. And the YouTuber who uploaded this, for some reason they used it. It's provoking. And it fuels hate. And like you go here, it's the same thing with this Yosuri 1 image. Can't escape me. Sunning me forever. Found you, hater. Can't block me. People said Sonic93 scared off Yosuri 1, and they didn't talk about the people who actually did it. This person who uploaded that picture was like, quick, run away. And Ghost Raptor is like, no, how about we send him to a gulag in North Korea or send him to ISIS to get beheaded? Wishing harm. Wishing fantasized harm. Well, fantasizing harm, well, death on Yosuri 1. I don't like this. And then like the whole thing with the weapons and stuff, threatening him. I know this is long ago, but still it matters because people leave out context purposely, and it's stupid. Now, this person right here, Alexander, they made some type of fanfic on Yosuri 1. If I can get there. This is weird. I'm actually a bit fatigued, but I'm trying to get to the top of that whatchamacallit. It's on DeviantArt. Basically, here's what you get when you mix Yosuri 1 with Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life. Yosuri 1 mixed with Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life. Why the heck will you? I was only 9 years old. I love Amy Rose so much. Yeah, Yosuri 1 was a big fan of the character Amy Rose and stuff. So much I had all the merchandise and games, as I disliked any other thing related to Sonic, etc. movies and comics. I prayed to Amy Rose every night before bed, thinking for the life I've been given. Amy Rose is love, Amy Rose is life. My father hears me and calls me a fidget. This is an attack on Yosuri 1's views. I really don't like that. I know he was just jealous of my devotion for Amy. You basically weaponized Yosuri 1's father, and I read that he was deceased. And then you have this. I called him a cunt. He slaps me and sends me to go to sleep. I'm crying now, and my face hurts. I lay in bed, and it's really cold. So you described Yosuri 1's dad as abusive in a DeviantArt on whatchamacallit. Like, what was the point of that? Here it is, the top. Now, these people, they were blindsided from being blamed for what happened in Yosuri 1. And people act like, oh, like, they're not responsible. Sonic93 is responsible for what happened. And I'm like, how can you say that? How can you go after somebody who you don't know about, all because of hearsay, and not care about the threats that she was given? And even then, Yosui-1 was not innocent, despite the horrendous stuff that was done upon him. And people slandered Sonic93 over him. Yosui-1 actually harassed a girl by the name of Matryoshka 100. Matryoshka Ka, aka Angel, was a 16-year-old that Yoshi, I guess, fell for. And he said right here, in this video that's a re-upload of Sonic93 and Amychan's call out on Yoshi, I will admit it to you right now. I'm sorry, I'm just really disgusted that I am actually glad that God gave me an ability to feel sexual excitement, because it relaxes me and makes me feel good. I am so sorry if that makes you feel uncomfortable, since you are a girl. Now, I'm going to go to what Amychan has said. She actually voice modulated or whatever. I guess used a Microsoft Sam. I don't know. Pitched his voice. Pitched her own voice mocking him, I mean. And I just don't want to play that. Because I don't like that she did that. Here we go.
First of all, that's disgusting, boy. And, I don't know if you know this, but Angel is a 16-year-old girl.
That right there. I know it's an older video, but, you know, it still matters what happened. And this video right here, same one I mean, this part, this is when Matryoshka spoke up.
Finally gets posted on the channel.
Sorry about that. Let me go back to
the... Right. So here are the last thoughts I will ever have for this dude. At least until my video finally gets posted on the channel. I've never hated someone. Ever. But now, I can legitimately say that I despise him with all my soul. So, at first I thought he was just your typical broken record of a fan rat who would do anything to protect his precious Tsunami and just had invalid arguments because he didn't really do his research. However, after doing that investigation myself through his gallery, along with a few of my other friends, I realized that this is something much more serious. Clearly, from all the things you have seen in this video, this is absolutely no denying that Yoshi is not who he makes himself out to be. His mannerisms, his likes, his absolute dislikes, and all of those pictures he made, it shows him how much of a sick shit he is. And I don't care how you fans may want to defend him, but don't believe another word he says, because he is a twisted fuck.
This person, Angel, she was a victim. And people kept gaslighting her and sidelining her just to attack Sonic93 and blame her for things she didn't do. Even though Sonic93 has made some mistakes, she did not do these crimes that people are accusing her of doing. Sonic93, at times, she probably could come off mean and stuff. She has said hurtful things to me, but it's because she was triggered by the hate. She was freaking out. She was falling apart. And even behind the scenes, she was being abused by a helper and being blackmailed. And I, on the other hand, if there's anything else I need to show, I'll come back. I, on the other hand, am not, like, totally innocent and stuff. I have my mistakes that I have made, especially towards Sonic93. And I'm here to say it. This is us right here. I've done fan art for her because we were good friends. And we weren't always talking about the drama. But when I called her an abuser, all because I was growing scared when she was freaking out and taking things out on me, I felt bad. She was not abusing me. But I got that feeling because there are people who shouted at me, and I had flashbacks of that. And the way they talked to me, it was like they weren't proud of me. Other things I really don't want to think about right now. I am an abuse victim. I am also someone who was sexually assaulted as a kid by another kid. I say this not because Sonic93 did something like this to me. She didn't. But Sonic93, in regards to the helper, in regards to BagODouche, was sexually harassed, and she was also blackmailed by the helper. I got upset with Sonic93 because she was confusing me with the helper, and she was getting impatient with the project we were working on to clear her name. She was crying for help, and I feel like I didn't react right. There's other stuff in this video if you want to watch it, but at the end of the day, I have this to say. Not at the end of the day. If Sonic93 is watching this, I have a lot to apologize for. Anywho, going back, I'm going to talk about Goth Nebula. She is someone who was actually threatened by this person, Darkness Soul 71. This person is the type of they're from the same type of group, general group that is, that went after Sonic93. People that say, "Oh, we're trying to help you. Oh, you're not listening to us. You are horrible. You're using this as an excuse," and trying to control them. Instagram, Darkness Soul 71 mentioned you in a comment. Dumbsville channel, of course, Dumbsville simp right here, is right. This motherfucking spoiled slutty bitch is a fake. Ha ha ha. Oh gosh, she is so stupid and her stories are complicated garbage. A load of chicken shit. So fucking boring, and her fan character is a hoe. Her art stinks, and fuck this bitch, man. Guys, this whore is the worst fucking writer in the history of writing. LOL, go fuck yourself, you gaslight. You're pathetic and a waste of time. Go jump off a cliff and die. No one fucking cares. You're nothing. Using your mental health as an excuse. You're just a stupid little girl that can't think of anything better to do. Get a life, you lazy slut. Ha, fuck you. Oh my goodness. This person is just a literal idiot right here, who would be afraid to admit that they posted this shit online in person to anyone. Now, I wanted to talk about this too. I don't know if I read this already, but this is also in regards to Akai. What if you, me, and Akai were in a future call and you both voiced your emotions, and then we passed it on to Moondisc? Because I actually wanted to help Akai, and I think that was part of the plan. And Sonic93 left me an audio, and I said, like, what if we passed the word into him after we do some reflecting and sharing between you two? Then it's used as a prep for discussion in the video. And she said, it sounds like a good idea, but you have to know that Akai is a very sensitive person, which would mean that I can't express however I want to her, it wouldn't be an open conversation. You know what? I'm going to put this as a recap on Akai. But, anywho, because I think I read that already. And I forgot about this. I'm going to timestamp this. This is somebody who went around trying to get people to make videos, like new videos of Sonic93. Notice that the date is 11 months ago. And here it says 10 hours ago. So I don't know if it was the same day or what, but it was very recent from the point that I uploaded this video. Emily Winnick 4390 said, she's back and someone made a video defending her with her in it. She's still smug as fuck and doesn't think she did anything wrong. The video was made by someone called Moondus, I think. Would love to see you cover that. This person says, from what I see of his video, it is nothing but CC slop. Chances are he is another guy who fell for the charms of an e-girl. I was heavily involved in the last drama of hers from behind the scenes. I know she has these e-boys that are ready to defend her without even seeing the videos involved. The second he called her by anything other than Sonic93, I wrote him off as a simp. Sadly, his video is too boring for me to cover. Even though it has new Sonic93 audio in it. Thanks for the info, though. My thing is that people need to watch TV or Netflix and stop harping on folks. Stop trying to get somebody to provide them with some popcorn and soda to see someone suffer. You wouldn't want it to be you, right? Especially you. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is also because Goth Nebula went through this whole situation with the Wikitubia. No, excuse me. The Encyclopedia Dramatica. I'm gonna look for it right now. Here it is. So this is the bottom of the Encyclopedia Dramatica right here for Goth Nebula, and this is the top. So I'm going to mute this. And why should we give any fucks, it says. Goth Nebula, or Samantha, is an autistic 23-year-old Sonic fan who writes fanfictions involving Sonic and Amy. Sometimes other couples she likes, just to get some extra fans. She also has an FC by the name of Nebula the Hedgehog. If you think the name is funny, go look at the bio and get a look on how nice she looks. But, scrolling down, they have information on her character. And they put this crap right here, saying, I really look like Salma Hayek. And they go like, K, like they're responding to Goth Nebula. And this is Salma Hayek right here. I did, bring it to Goth Nebula's attention, thinking it was racist. And she agreed that it was. Yeah, like coincidentally, is like a resemblance between the two, but you sit there and bring it up because, oh, apparently you think that she's another ethnic background. She's not the same ethnic background as Salma Hayek. But then we got the bottom of the whatchamacallit of her page that they made of her. They go, white knights. Like all good stews, one must have at least a couple of white knights. Like Akai Dahlia, had to drag in Akai Dahlia. Goth Nebula is a butthurt baby who ignores criticism or advice that is given to her, either on fanfiction.net or DeviantArt. Sometimes, oh my goodness, my voice. Sometimes, when she gets really butthurt, she posts a journal, which is rare, bawling for attention from her fidget fans, I can't stand this, who she often ignores. How to get her attention? Number one, have amazing art. Why are you going to use her real name like this? Samantha loves it when good artists draw her shit. Okay. Yeah. Be a great writer, like reason above. Right? I'm not going to read that again. And then this right here. Give her a premium. She won't be grateful, but will actually notice you for once. Expect a short comment, a boring cute or things. If you do, spend your fucking time making her a... Okay, what? right here, this is harassment. Samantha discovers ED. Actually, the whole thing is harassment. Eventually, one must discover all the good things in life. Goth discovered this article and made a huge hissy fit about it. Her fan rest came into the rescue to comfort their queen. The queen warned to Encyclopedia Dramatica and its users. Here's her pity journal. This is harassment right here, especially because you're posting it for people to see and you're trying to encourage them to do something about it against her. Encyclopedia Dramatica people, I got something to say to you before I even do that. I'm going to talk about Sonic93's Wikitubia page. Before, they used to have her real name up here and they took it down. They made some changes. Sonic93 is a Swedish former YouTuber who was known for her obsession with Silver the Hedgehog. The thing that is creepy about this is that they have her real picture up here, as well as having Goth Nebula's real picture on the Encyclopedia Dramatica. And it's just a whole big invasion of privacy. People probably be like, oh, well, they posted it up there. They didn't post it for you to use against them, you know, and to spread hate on them and to slander them. They didn't post it for that reason. That's like me seeing a picture of Dumbsville and putting it on a website and then just saying, you know, Dumbsville is the R word and all sorts of things. That is harassment right there. But they did change some things up on the Wikitubia page, excuse me. Not that it really helps, because this right here, citations needed. They make claims about her and preserve it, but they don't post the citations. A person who appeared to try to gatekeep the page, they told me that there are refs up there when I was saying that she was being slandered and stuff. And then I got on their case, and they ended up apologizing, especially when I told them they were being rude and did not send me the link to, or actually give me the information I needed to get here to see what was going on. Because seriously, they were hiding the fact that they were not using actual references. They were using hearsay references. References and citations are not exactly the same thing. You can make a video and you can say, oh, I know that Dumbsville, or I know that BagODouche is full of shit because I heard it from Munchkin Adversary. But do you know it? Did you see my evidence? You can't just take my word for it. You have to look at my evidence. Because if you don't look at my evidence, then you just believe in me without thinking for yourself. That's not good. And this whole thing with Melody Sugar Plum. In 2018, a DeviantArtist named Melody Sugar Plum made a list on why she thought Silver was a flawed character. Sonic93 reacted by screaming and belittling the Deviant user. Sonic93 was criticizing Melody Sugar Plum because Melody said she was a huge Silver the Hedgehog fan, and then she said things that sounded like she wanted Silver to be boycotted, you know, basically telling Sega to change the character and stuff. And Sonic93's mind, she's like, okay, if you are a fan of the character, why do you want the character to be changed? You're not a fan of the character. She was insulted because she felt betrayed by Melody sounding like a fellow fan, revealing that she's not a fan. Because Melody was complaining about the character for selfish reasons. But yeah, if Sonic93 overreacted, you don't use that as an excuse to paint her in different colors and say she was abusive and stuff. It doesn't give you the right to make things a stretch over Sonic93. Like, good Lord. The Wikitubia and the Encyclopedia Dramatica, they do not list the things that happened to Sonic93 and Goth Nebula. They don't. It's enabling. And they're like the mafia. But in reality, They're like a bunch of scaredy cats playing CSI who don't know how to protect people. And they put themselves in danger, which makes me even more pissed. There's a bunch of minors working on this website too, from what I've heard. I'm really ashamed of people. Now, moving away from that, I'm going to read, I'm actually going to read this from Goth Nebula. This is what she said to me recently. And the reason I write pity journals is because it helps me deal with my stress. Not that I'm looking for pity or sympathy, but a way to deal with my stress. Being silent and doing nothing at all will only make my bottled up emotions explode in my chest, which is not such a great feeling. Unlike them, I never lash out of anger with profanity, hatred, words, because that would be their plan to capture screenshots as evidence to show the world. Sometimes I do lash out inside my head, but never online. She was referring to her haters or accusers and stuff. Yes, it does help because with your voice and opinions, it shows how well you observe and read. She was referring to my videos. As you've seen how others went crazy with saying I don't take criticism or you don't listen to advice, it's like they want to force me for a yes instead of a no. Unlike them, when people say no, I accept their decision because I can sense their perspective. They do not understand my perspective because they think I'm stubborn. And like you said, everyone is their own person. Haters do not own me like some puppet. I don't own haters because I don't know them. I can't force them to accept the way I am, but I hope one day they see their own mistakes instead of mine. That's not it right here. I think I made a mistake here, but and even worse, there is such a thing as harsh criticism. Then that can affect the person's self-esteem, which already did to me in the past. It causes negative impact in trying to improve because too much harshness drains their sense of self and replaced with self-doubt. I do agree with that. Here's my example of when I once mentioned how I can't tell which is real constructive criticism and which is not. There is such a thing as manipulative criticism. Manipulative criticism is a form of communication where criticism is used to control or influence another person, rather than to genuinely help them improve. It often involves attacking a person's character or making them feel bad about themselves, rather than focusing on specific behaviors or actions. Here's a breakdown of manipulative criticism and how to identify it. Key characteristics of manipulative criticism. Vague and general. It relies on broad statements like, you always, or you never, rather than specific examples. Focus on character. It attacks the person's personality or character rather than their actions. Emotional manipulation. It aims to evoke guilt, shame, or fear to control the recipient's behavior. Lack of specificity. Okay, I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry. It doesn't offer clear suggestions for improvement, making it difficult to address or learn from. Unpredictable and blaming. It can shift blame and make the recipient feel responsible for the manipulator's feelings or problems. Even at times, I can't tell if they are trying to make me feel bad rather than try to help, especially troll criticism, which is much worse whenever I see nasty words. In online context, troll criticism refers to criticism that is intentionally malicious, provocative, or disruptive, rather than constructive or genuinely aimed at improving a situation. Trolls aim to provoke negative reactions and engage in arguments for their own amusement, often using inflammatory language or off-topic comments. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Deliberately inflammatory. Troll criticism is not about offering help feedback. It's designed to upset or anger the recipient. Provocative and disruptive. Trolls aim to derail conversations, start arguments, and generally cause chaos online. Lack of sincerity. Trolls often say things they don't believe simply to provoke a reaction. Goal is entertainment. The primary motivation for a troll is to get a reaction from others, even if that reaction is negative. Often anonymous or under a fake name. As you've seen with Jim, that person that was posting against Moondisc and Molina. Trolls may hide behind anonymity to avoid consequences for their actions. A lot of people in the Sonic93 situation did that. Even by using their own names, they try to hide their identity and stuff and say things about her. Concerned trolling is a type of troll criticism. That's basically what Dumbsville did to Sonic93 and Goth Nebula. This involves expressing concern about a topic or person while actually aiming to undermine or sabotage it, according to the dictionary. According to dictionary.com, excuse me. In essence, if someone's criticism feels designed to hurt rather than help, and if it's accompanied by other signs like inflammatory language or off-topic remarks, it's likely troll criticism. Now, let me see what I read. Okay, I see it. And yet, Easter Chew once said that criticism helps improve, but at times they don't. She's referring to one of the people that came after her and slandered her over criticism and stuff. Self-criticism, or criticism driven primarily by self-interest rather than objective assessment, can negatively impact relationship and personal growth. It often involves focusing on perceived flaws or shortcomings of others to elevate oneself rather than offering constructive feedback for improvement. Consequences of selfish criticism damage relationships. It can create resentment, distrust, and distance between people. Lower self-esteem. The recipient of selfish criticism may start to doubt their abilities and worth. Hinders personal growth. It discourages open communication and the desire to learn from mistakes. Creates a negative environment. Constant criticism can make social interactions unpleasant and uncomfortable. Now, I got something I really want to talk about after this. Also from Kirito insulting me that I'm not an actual human being because I don't listen. There is a certain type of topic I'm going to tell people to brace themselves for. And it has to do with someone who is just overly political. But I'm not trying to dive into politics. It has to do with Rob Reiner and Michele, his wife, is a reaction to their passing. That's way too cruel to say things like that. Being human has nothing to do with taking criticism or advice or listening. Being human is based on their core aspects of humanity. Being human means experiencing a complex blend of consciousness, emotions, intellect, and connections marked by the capacity for love, creativity, abstract thought, moral reasoning, and the ongoing search for meaning and purpose, all while navigating life's joys, hardships, and the ability to adapt and build cultures. If I wasn't human, I wouldn't have made art or writing fanfics. Now, the reason why I brought up Rob Reiner and Michele is because this person who has all the power in the world was pretending to show concern just to invite themselves to troll them over their death and weaponize it through propaganda that it had to do with him when it had to do with someone else. I'm not even there yet, but I want to point it out right now. Conservatives condemn Trump's disgusting Rob Reiner post. Now, this is what I'm talking about. In regards to what Goth Nebula is saying, especially in regards to what Sonic93 went through, if you have a specific alignment, you have a religion that you defend or a political view, please don't let that stop you from pointing out what someone is doing with a similar religion or group. Don't use bias to justify anyone's actions in your party. It's not good. Because these people that went after Sonic93 and went after Goth Nebula and went after the others, they were using bias. And she says, without a soul, no sense of self. I did not like what he said about not being human. That almost angered me, and he calls that help. More like insulting the way I am without even knowing me in person. He doesn't even see my face the same way I can't see his. Can you imagine haters going around and hating on someone they don't even know? Yeah, I'm going to show who's that example too. What if the victim is a beautiful woman? What do they have to say about that? Or what if someone is a rich and powerful person? So far, I can see myself who really needs serious help is him. No manners, no respect, and no self-control. And the way he talks nasty is going to really help me improve? No, because I don't like to be insulted by people who talk nasty with swearing words. Again, brace yourselves, because Goth Nebula's points, it actually aligns with a certain somebody. What also annoys me is their nonsense, because when they slander about me, they don't provide evidence, exactly like the person I'm about to bring up. Just their way of degrading me. I hate when they bring up about not listening to criticism. I do listen to criticism, but at times I don't, because I can be very sensitive about it, especially whenever I see very toxic, manipulative, and insulting ones. Here we go. I think it's after this. Yeah. Now, when it comes down to what Goth Nebula was saying, she did not say it for the sake of likening it to that person. But it's relevant because that person is like that. They provide slander and do all kinds of stuff. And they weaponize groups. And they make it about themselves. So here we go. I'm going to timestamp. I saw this online on, of course, True Social. And the first time I saw it, I think it was either on Threads or an X. And I was like, is this real? Because I had a hunch that it was. But at the same time, I had to make sure, because people use posts from this individual, the president, to make it sound like he's saying things he's not saying, but it's similar to what he does say. But it's still slander towards him. But putting that aside, this is real. And basically, Rob Reiner, who's a director, was being called out by Trump for the wrongest reasons that had nothing to do with him. Trump said, a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling, but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife, Michele, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with the mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us. Perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michele rest in peace. This is why I showed this. I'm going to leave it in a link. I'm going to say it right here. Conservatives condemn Trump's disgusting Rob Reiner post. This is inappropriate, disrespectful discourse about a man who was just brutally murdered. Granada Party Rep. Thomas Massey said Trump's comments. Now, why am I reading this? Because politics, the toxicity, it's similar to how people go after folks online, especially, and anywhere else, even in real life. The whole slandering part of it, the whole gaslighting and the fake criticism, the fake concernedness. Here, online, I read, what we learned today about the deaths of Rob and Michele Reiner. A day after Rob and Michele Reiner were murdered in their Los Angeles home, we now know that their son, Nick Reiner, has been arrested and is the primary suspect. Here's what else we learned today. Nick Reiner, 32, was arrested yesterday and booked on suspicion of murder today. The case will be brought to the LA District Attorney tomorrow. He is the middle son of Rob and Michele, who share 3 kids together and has spoken before about his substance abuse issues. The Reiner's youngest daughter, Rami, is the one who found her parents' bodies, multiple sources told CBS. The legendary director is being mourned by Hollywood today, with celebrities, politicians, and fans offering their condolences. President Donald Trump is being criticized for his response, in which he said, without providing any evidence, that Reiner and his wife reportedly died due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with Trump derangement syndrome. We are closing this live page soon, but we will continue to bring you the latest as the investigation continues. Okay, so their deaths had nothing to do with politics. Their son became a major suspect, big suspect, and was actually put in jail, was charged, I think, without bail or held without bail. So if he did it, if to my understanding he did it, this had nothing to do with Trump. And look at how many likes he has for this. Compare this to where is it? No, not that, but close. Compare this to, get out of the way, BagODouche in Dumbsville and others who have painted lies over people to get views. This is where we are. But you have people of the quote-unquote same party who stood up against Trump. And I say quote-unquote party because, to break it down, Trump is not a Republican. Anybody who uses 2 parties to butt heads and then try to say, oh, I'm for this party because you want to be on the winning side, you are not faithful to that party. Whether it's politics or groups or friendship or whatever. And to make the death of a couple about you is not only monstrous, but sickening, disgusting, selfish. You're like the Batmite of politics, man. You folks who went after Sonic93, you haters who went after the ones I listed. Let me go back. They didn't deserve it. You folks who went after them, you are basically Donald Trump. Spreading hate. And trying to justify what you say. You're afraid of hate, but you love distributing hate. How does that make you brave? You folks on the Encyclopedia Dramatica and Wikitubia, you're also afraid. I'm talking about the ones who abuse them. The ones who make those articles. Because I'm going to say this right now. Going back. I don't care if you bitch about me. I don't care if you try to humiliate me. It's not going to work. It's not going to work well for you because you fear hate. I don't fear hate. I fear the lives of people getting hurt, getting destroyed. That's what I fear. But when it comes to me, I'm just one person. You wouldn't say whatever you're saying up here in my face. You wouldn't. You wouldn't say it to Goth Nebula. You were probably one of those people that are like, oh, well, I feel good. I left that link right there. Now people can see just how pathetic she is and stuff. And I can just go to school and chew on a Pop-Tart. You're that stupid dumbass, the type who would just ruin someone, and you don't want to think about it because you don't want to talk about the type of. It's like the equivalent of an angry cartoony pigeon leaving its dirt somewhere and not wanting to talk about it. Yeah, you take a dump and you leave it stenching out the place, and you're like, I didn't do it. So if you're brave enough to make this horse crap right here, why don't you reveal yourselves? I want to see the heroes behind this mess. You can't even talk about BagODouche. You can't talk about Princess Anastasia 434, whatever her name is. You can't talk about Watermelon the Cat, but you can go after people who you deem defenseless, who you deem weak. You're the ones who are weak. Can't talk about Dumbsville. I don't even know if he's up there. But my thing is BagODouche is not up there and stuff, and they're making shit like this, then that must mean you don't care. It's all about profiteering or, gaining something. It's a game to you. And this adult imagery that BagODouche made, I like you to know, BagODouche, you can fantasize all you want in your fucking mind. Don't bring this shit to people. But you already did. And that's why I called you out. You're a sad Sonic93 simp. You're the hateful type of simp. Call me a simp? I was her friend. You weren't. You were somebody she didn't even know about. When it comes to Donald Trump, you pretty much like him too, if I haven't said it already. This stuff needs to stop. Because politics has taken over. People use politics to make everything about themselves. Now, here's one of the reasons, the biggest reasons I made this video too. I have had a friend named Andrew, and he was LGBTQ, and he was very much accepted by his foster family. And for some reason, he went missing. He just stopped talking. And then he wound up gone. I'm going to get to that. This is the Discord conversation between Andrew and me. I'm in the blue still. Andrew said to me, hey, I want to ask you something. I know you just met me, but you've been so nice to me. I feel like I can trust you. I wanted to ask if you have any recommendations on getting over guilt after a suicide attempt. I said, yes, I can help. I used to be that way myself. Andrew said, I'm sorry to hear that. So to sum it up, I tried to hang myself last month, snapped back into reality, told my dad, but I still feel guilty about it. I said, what did your dad say? And how bad do you feel about it? He said, he freaked out a little in a supportive way, and we talked it out. He basically, I don't even know. Asked what happened to make me feel that way. I pretty much said that I have no clue and that it came out of the blue. I feel really bad. And I said, but your dad is happy you opened up, right? He said, of course. I still have my moments though, but not as bad as it was that day. I did some investigating and I may have undiagnosed depression, maybe. This is back in 2023, of course. We're here for you, regardless, I said. He said, thanks. I said, welcome. What was your reason for your attempt? He said, my reason, I just felt so low that day. I couldn't think of a reason why. That I wanted the sadness to stop. I was so close to blacking out, but thankfully I snapped back into reality. I was then like, the heck did I just try to do? I said, dang, if it's any consolation, many of us are happy to have you around. Andrew said, thanks a lot. Thanks. A lot of others said the same thing. This is why I've been kind of stuttering through the video. Here it is. This is someone I used to be friends with that I cut ties with because of their behavior and because they were using me. But this person also helped me. And I don't want to forget that. They defended me against someone who was harassing me. Their name I cannot give out, but she is female. She was telling me about what happened to Andrew. This was in December, late part of 2023. I found out he was gone. Right here. And that's his obituary, of course, if you haven't noticed already. I've been afraid of this happening to anyone, including the haters. And no one deserves to be outed or whatever. I don't know what happened to Andrew, but I have a feeling, even in regards to what he told me, it might have had something to do with that. Has not been confirmed, despite seeing his obituary. I'm going to read this in a moment, but I do want to say right now, I feel for anyone who is suicidal. Yes, people go around threatening folks with it, which is not good. But not every suicidal person threatens suicide. A lot of times they're calling for help. And if someone goes missing and they wind up gone a few months later and you don't know how or why, you may or may not think that it has something to do with what they told you. I was once that way. I think I tried twice. I'm no longer in that status. I want to be around for people. I had times when I was shutting down. But even if my video doesn't really help many people, it helps somebody. As long as it helps someone, I'm fine. Because haters, accusers, and victims, they go through similar things. And this is why I made this. I understand victims, accusers, and haters from a general standpoint. Victims want to be heard. Like victims, accusers want justice. Haters seek retribution. Simple, right? No. In fact, it's not that easy. You have victims accused of being monsters, haters disguised as accusers, and victims and haters who manipulate outsiders. Real or blinded accusers and real victims. What do victims, accusers, and haters tend to have in common? They want to escape being trapped somewhere and be free. They tend to want to forget what happened, be done with it, and live their lives. It's like a competition in the eyes of haters, including those disguised as accusers. Number 3, telling the truth can sometimes be risky and expose us to danger. We generally tend to feel that, which is one of the reasons we also tend to lie and or keep silent. Telling lies commonly comes with consequences of any kind, as they can also bring us danger and even endanger those who are deceived. This applies to haters, number 4. This applies to haters too. Many of them know this type of stuff. Yet they cling to lies because the truth can hurt so much. Lying can feel so great as long as you feel protected. Yeah, wrong. When you use lies to hurt, ruin, or play with the emotions of others, you also carry a great burden. Number 5, haters know we as a whole cannot change the past. They know it's easy to fool the ignorant and less self-aware, including those who are distracted and not used to what they see or hear. They grow desperate like many other individuals, so lying is their reset button. But what happens when everyone begins doing the same thing? Chaos. Number 6. Often there is more to the story that we fail to grasp in order to control ourselves. Sometimes we don't want to understand who or what we judge. Sometimes we just want that person or obstacle out of our minds. Sometimes we just want that person to understand us and what we want out of them. And usually, if we hate someone or something, we don't want anything to do with them. Number 7. Hate is so strong that we have so many different ways of expressing such emotion. A lot of these ways are unhealthy and involve both hurting, controlling, and ruining others. A great amount of us tend to feel shame behind our hate while others embrace it. 8. Many who embrace hate also fear hate and wish to protect their reputation due to main character syndrome. Why? Because people fall victim to the lust behind their own negative emotions and thoughts. They want to preserve their comfort zones by defending beliefs and wants they cling to. 9. There are huge numbers of folks in the world who use the truth as an excuse to tell lies so that way they protect their false narratives with credibility. What's more is that they deem any evidence or reasoning cringe, false, or offensive if it's not something they want to see or believe. 10. So many folks and groups are fighting to have their own versions of reality published when we already share one. And instead of helping us overcome obstacles together in this true reality, they dictate where we are, how we live, and how to feel because they're too afraid to accept the reality we all share. 11. So, what do these people do? They wear masks and pretend to be mature about it, but it stops them from growing. It makes them extremely static. It's like an ongoing virus. The more we deny our similarities and differences as humans, the worse the cycle of poor judgment and hatred grows. 12. Haters don't want to see the bigger picture of things. They want to interpret their own bigger picture out of laziness, resentment, hate, cockiness, desperation, and lack of self-worth. They want to impress themselves and those they wish to attract. The truth is what they fear, so they bandage themselves with lies, using their believers as shields. If I haven't said it before, they also use the truth to endorse their lies to gain credibility. And to do that, haters disregard context to replace it with their own. 13. We're so distracted by so many things happening in the world. Too many things. Too many things. Our guards are dropped because we also fail to understand that cause and effect plays a role no matter the time of an event and how old it is. We don't work hard enough to understand who, what, where, why, and or how when it comes to sharing info and problem solving. It's like it's all about the who and what while the rest is based on selectivity and propaganda, and that's bad. This issue is present in so many forms, especially in the form of politics. 14. Political distractions are cancerous. I do not like political toxicity, especially when it parallels what these victims of hate went through or continue to experience. Argument. Then why do you bring it up? If anything, you love to talk about it. If you don't like politics, don't watch, don't read, don't get involved. This hypothetical argument is exactly one of the reasons people are very ignorant and controlling, both in real life and on the internet. I don't like politics doesn't mean no one is allowed to vent about politics. Sharing can actually help people get through political toxicities by letting them know they're not alone, by educating and spreading awareness, by adapting or seeking and maintaining healthy optimism, and even by putting aside differences. 15. The previous general and hypothetical argument is the same as saying the only way to stop racism is to not talk about it. Look up what happened to the cosplayer Squid Kid Quadruple One, aka Ash. Look around you. So many victims of racism get hurt and end before even pointing out racism. Number 16. No matter how old these situations are or how old they get surrounding these victims, it does not make them irrelevant, especially to the ongoing struggles we face in reality. 17. History doesn't exist to be forgotten. It is a reminder, an opportunity to seek important answers, learn, grow, improve, and share awareness. If old topics bother us so much, we may as well make a law banning all history. We may as well make laws legally but wrongfully banning victims from seeking justice for failing to speak after a long period of time. Then, when the same thing finally happens to us, we have no one but ourselves to blame after we inhumanely ban the right for all victims to even speak of and face old trauma. 18. Ode, not obsolete. A little reference I made to a certain Terminator movie. That aside, people commonly make the mistake of thinking old news is always obsolete. Cause and effect matters no matter how old the subject or event is. Telling a known victim of trauma that their past experiences are old and therefore they need to just throw it away and move on is not only stupid, but can be a form of victim shaming. Our actions affect the future and can affect anyone, no matter the range of time. 19. Now imagine me as an unrealistically popular celebrity with an incredibly big fan base. I would never be a popular celebrity, but yeah. Let's say I hypothetically send degrading threats to select people on the Wikitubia in both Sonic93 and Goth Nebula Haters. They would have a right to speak against me. Imagine what if no matter how many times they try to open up, they get silenced for years by my fans. And when they finally have the courage to speak and use all the evidence they got against me, my fans tell them, it's old, move on, get over it. You don't know what you're talking about. Stop clinging to the past, it's irrelevant. 20. Me and my fans would be guilty of burying open wounds instead of letting our victims close those wounds and heal. We would be guilty of stopping them from overcoming their obstacles, pain, and trauma. You don't bury something because it's old, yet still active. You bury something because it's done. Antiques and relics are old. We don't just throw those away. And what about treasure? Old is not obsolete. The cause can be old while its effects are going. 21. I've seen people still making accusations against Vic Mignogna, Monica Rial, Sonic93, Goth Nebula, Akai Jane, and ISWV. Yet when those individuals tried speaking up, one or more of them were slammed for not leaving unresolved things in the past. But the accusers are allowed to keep things going. Really? 22. Telling targets of hate to move on was never about helping them resolve their problems. It was about selfishly gaining relief by making them shut up. But then when accusers get attacked, all of a sudden they're victims, and guess what? They're either selectively sympathized with or told by their own haters to shut up. Then the hate cycle repeats, and both accusers and haters get hurt while even more victims are hurt. You cannot dictate when cause and effect matters and for who it matters. 23. What is hive mind hexing? Hive mind hexing, an unofficial term, is when one or more individuals with an agenda gaslight, slander, and or derail anyone or anything to negate self-aware thinking. It involves pretending to speak the minds of all viewers, readers, watchers, and listeners. It is a form of manipulative propaganda used to attract others into thinking, feeling, doing, and saying things by basically agreeing with what the culprit or culprits try to make sound logical. 24. Hive mind hexing is performed both in real life and online. For instance, a person could be the victim of severe bullying and slander with evidence backing up their claims, but a group of people may blindly argue and chant that their situation is old or fake, and that the victim needs to move on, then gaslight the victim as an attention seeker to silence them. And finally, the group may purposely discourage others from listening to the same victim by rationalizing their own lies, bias, and hearsay to sound like common sense. Number 25. Hive mind hexing is often used during a plethora of problems such as bullying, racism, slander, violence, sexism, abuse, sexual assault, and RAPE, political toxicity, and hate. You name it. Haters disguised as accusers band together with common goals to ruin their targets. Make themselves look good. And preserve their narratives. And they don't even care about who they defend. They care about what they see and want and who they selectively defend. They chant the same things in order to distract us from seeing the inconsistencies and contradictions within their narratives. So basically going, you're guilty, you're guilty, you're guilty. They said the same thing. They said the same thing. This happened, that happened. You abuse people, you abuse people. Like, really. Like, just stop. 26. Selective awareness is a common pain. Authentic haters do anything to distract from and derail the truth, even by nitpicking common human flaws and using selfish, poor excuses such as, you can't spell, your grammar proves you're not credible, you're just bringing up old stuff that don't matter, who cares, it didn't happen to me, I don't know that person, so it sucks to be them. Imagine a rule so foul and stupid that it involves a social media algorithm preventing anyone from sending their messages through unless they have perfect grammar and spelling. Imagine a law so foul and stupid that it prohibits people from bringing up old drama, concerns, issues, and trauma, all because they're old news. Jailhouses would be packed and filled with hypocrites who voted for such law. We have emotions for a reason. Venting exists for a reason. Investigations exist for a good reason. Victims speak for a good reason. 27. FYI. Regarding victim controversy. If a victim happens to have done wrong, it wouldn't discredit whatever caused them to be a victim, just as their status as a victim wouldn't discredit whatever they've truly done wrong. Unless they've played the victim card the whole time, which gives real victims bad names. And that is why context, evidence, and fact check are important, and why we need to stop making excuses to use or enable both hearsay and hate. 28. I know we cannot individually protect everyone in the world, but don't use that as an excuse to ignore cries for help. And anyone can end up being a victim, including a hater. Victims aren't immune to fault. Faults don't negate victim status. Wrongdoers are not immune to being victimized. 29. There is a such thing as neglecting and provoking victims enough for them to seek retribution or vengeance. Victims and defenders can also target and hurt anyone uninvolved in their experiences and blame even the people closest to them. Hate can also consume victims and defenders who'd want their attackers and bullies to literally suffer or fatally worse. Sometimes people wait until victims commit crimes to act like they suddenly care. That's baiting. That's a form of bait. Okay, that was right there the whole time. Silly me. Please do not wait until it's too late to help them. The cycle is too much. 30. If you truly care about victims, you'd at least acknowledge them. Help share awareness. Do whatever you can to help victims. Both sides of a story matter. You care about the truth regardless of how cringe or how bad the truth hurts, because we share the same world and need to stand together. 31. Last one. And if you for some reason truly don't care about victims, don't hide it. I can't make you care. But tell the whole world instead of blindly or deliberately dictating who is and who isn't a victim as an excuse to hide your hate and fear of accountability. Because you could be a victim. One by one, people are constantly losing their loved ones to hate through both suicide and murder. Ironic how the ones behind the hate fear confessing their own hatred. Ain't that something? If you can act big, then you can do something big to help protect lives. I'm going to go back to, what's over here? Oh, never mind. I'm going to go back to the hate targets and victims. Because I got some last things to say. So, in regards to Sonic93, I'm gonna start with Sonic93 first. if you're out there, if you see this, you were one of the best friends I've ever had. Even though things ended the way they did. And I do take responsibility. Despite how I felt. Despite what happened. Because I also hurt your feelings. And I'm sorry for that. And I'm sorry for making you cry. In regards to Vic Mignogna and Monica Rial, I doubt you will see this video. I'm sorry that you two went through this. This is not about who's innocent and who's guilty over like the accusations. For me, it's about your well-being. It's about the fans being safe. I'm sorry for all of that because I didn't even know everything myself. And you two used to be both my favorite voice actors. Now I'll say that I'm actually neutral, despite my views in the situation. Keep up the good work, and it is not up to me to dictate who is and who isn't guilty. So if a voice actor, people, happens to be guilty of something, please do not harass them. It doesn't give you the right to invite yourselves to harass a voice actor and wish harm on them. If they're doing something wrong, you take legal action. You be civilized about it. And if you're trying to defend a voice actor, or rather like a sexual assault victim, don't try to impress them and stuff. Be reasonable, be mature, and keep people out of it. You know, folks that are coming from the outside. Because in the Vic Mignogna and Monica Rial situation, people made it about sides. It was really stupid and hurtful. And kids were involved. And one or more people, they were suicidal. In regards to ISWV, I never knew you in person. I've seen evidence of your actions, but it gave no one the right to victimize you and to threaten you and stuff. And I'm sorry for that. My condolences to Mikayla Raines, Squid Kid, Rob and Michelle. People have the right to achieve their dreams. And they even make others happy and make themselves happy. Cosplaying is an art. Bonding with people over like taking care of animals, like just sharing the love towards animals, and having a fan base that loves you because you're teaching them like the wonders of nature. That we share this planet with different types of creatures. It's not just all about humans. But I am a fan of animals. And I'll say this. I like dolphins. I like dogs and cats. Turtles. List goes on. But when it comes down to what happened to Mikayla Raines, I feel really bad. I know I didn't know her. I know I couldn't have done anything to help or stop. But I can show support. And so can you. It's the same with Squid Kid. It's the same with Rob and Michelle. And you don't have to be a fan of any of them, but please acknowledge that they died as human beings. But no matter what you think of them. Akai Jane and Sonic93 and the rest of them, including Goth Nebula, they're human beings. Goth Nebula, I apologize if I left anything out. And I hope this helps because you've been moving on and you've been gaining insight and you've been given really good insight to me, and I appreciate that. You all, even those who passed away, have helped me to grow. You did. As for the people who went after these targets, these victims, BagODouche, Dumbsville, the rest of you, the people on the Wikitubia, the people on the Encyclopedia Dramatica, that I'm talking about the members who abuse the roles. You could use your strength to help people. Quit hiding behind a website. You can say all these things about somebody. You can say it about me or whoever. It's not going to save you from embarrassing yourselves. If you can't even face the people around you about what you've done online and stuff, that makes you even more of a coward. You don't like to hear things about yourselves, but you want to post this type of shit to make yourselves happy. Wow, this is your escapism right here. Use your strength to help people. Because you got it. Because otherwise, you're going to continue this cycle of hate. And it's going to be on you. And when someone winds up committing suicide or getting murdered over this stuff that you put up here, you can think all you want that's not going to happen, but it will, and has happened in different situations. You are going to live with the fucking guilt that you earned. Grow some thick skin. And in regards to conservatives out there, even though I'm more of like a center type person and I care for both sides and I've seen what's happened on both sides, not everything, of course, I do appreciate you for calling out our world leader's issues that he's been making. Not everyone's doing it, but this was never about politics. This is about a couple, human beings, losing lives, and whether or not their son is confirmed to be responsible. I understand. I've heard that their son did murder them. I'm still confused about it. It's still a lot to process because politics is everywhere, and politics is virtually the same as people spreading hate in different forms. And we need to escape that. So, I am done for now. This may be the last time I talk about Sonic93 or Yoshi 1 and Goth Nebula and Akai Jane, especially unless I receive another request. But I have pointed out what makes hate and different ways people express it. Even things about it that's really underrated. But if you want to protect someone, if you want to stop hate, please don't make hate. Muskin Adversary out.